What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Gregway. Today's Gregway topic comes from Brant Range. Of course, Ramblin' with Range, you know him from GameScoop, Podcast Beyond. He's a fan of the Greg Miller products, the whole line of Greg Miller products, as you know. He asked me, what's it like being an only child? And there's no easy answer to that, right? Like, it's all I've ever known. I don't know. You talk to people with siblings, and sometimes they love it, sometimes they hate it. Being an only child, you know what you know, right? Like, it was weird growing up. Like, I was spoiled, first off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you've heard my dumb stories about WWF Royal Rumble and all those other things. Like, my parents and aunt and uncle, like, they took care of me incredibly well. Entire family, spoiled me. Not rotten, because I'm still a good kid, but anything I never really wanted for anything, right? Because there was nobody else to worry about. And screw everybody else. Not only was I the only child, right, in the family tree, right, like on my mom's side, her sister, aunt and uncle, they had no kids. And then over my dad's side, there were other children, cousins, you call them in a family tree, but they were older than me. So I was kind of like everybody's last hurrah anyway. Nobody really cared much about it. So being an only child was, I didn't want for anything. And then there were, I probably played with action figures for too long. I remember the first girlfriend I ever had in high school. I brought her over and I was like showing her my room and touring. And then I was like, oh, and here's where I keep my toys and here's where I keep my action figures. She's like, what? I was like, oh, do normal high school freshmen not have a drawer full of Superman and Batman action figures? She's like, no. I'm like, huh, I do. That's how I live. But yeah, it was all right. I mean, I liked being an only child. I liked having nice things and everything else. And the kids I always saw who had siblings, they always had like the extreme, it seemed, right? Like, there was one kid I went to school with, Eric. He had like 5 other brothers, right? And so their house was just a train wreck all the time. It was just kids screaming. There was always another baby. Like, he never felt like he was getting enough time or whatever it felt like or stuff like that. I don't know. Of course, this is in the moment. God only knows how it feels now. I'm sure they're all lumberjacks or a professional football team. But there's pluses and minuses to each, I imagine, right? Like, on my side, there's definitely times where you're like, oh, it would be cool to have a little brother or an older brother or somebody to teach you stuff, not to teach you how to dress, right? God knows I didn't know what I was doing when I stopped wearing school uniforms. But overall, you just learn like anything else. I think it was more lonely maybe at times, but it wasn't terrible. I definitely made a lot of dumb shows in the basement on the video camera like this where I would talk to them, and that seems to have paid off pretty well for me. So unless that other family of 6 is a professional football team, I think I panned out all right. Being an only child's kind of cool. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, another Gregway in the books. Remember, every Wednesday and Friday I'm here answering your questions or just ranting about whatever the hell I feel like it, because I have that ability. The whole point of these shows, use the Gregway to make your day.